this is Milsurp Cat, so let's look at some Milsurp. Here's all my Boonie hats. I have many of them. It's one of my favorite hats to wear. They're really comfortable to wear outside. They give you a lot of shade, and they're light, and you can just kind of roll them up and put in your backpack or put it in your pocket. Now, I'm just going to talk about all of them. This is a collector's channel, so I'm going to tell you how to collect them, right? So you can go to your military surplus store and they'll have a bunch of different camo colors. And yeah, you can collect those, but this is kind of one more level on top of it. All these hats are USGI, or they're issued or surplus hats. Okay, so some of them were new old stock. That's typically what I like to go for because they get all sweaty and things like that. But these were actually contracted out, and they're legit surplus. Okay, so my favorite hat is this 3-color desert one. It's super light. It's gone a little bit dirty because I wear it a decent amount. And just to kind of situate you on what a Boonie hat is, it's pretty simple. There's a brim, you've got some vents on them, you got this keeper, and then there's usually this leather keeper that holds the strap. And you can put the strap around your neck to hold it on, but if you get a nicely fitted Boonie hat, it'll just stay on your head. A lot of times what I like to do is flip it over and use this to kind of hold up the sides, and it just gives you a little bit more breeze, and it just looks kind of cool. You're gonna want to look for the tags when you go to a military surplus store. Typically what I see at the military surplus stores is the majority of them are commercial hats, and not all of them are made in the US. Now, all these surplus hats are made in the US, and the way to really tell is to look at the tag, and it's pretty simple. So let's just go look at the tag. Okay, so here we see the tag. We have a label, hat camouflage pattern desert. Okay, that makes sense. Size, okay, I'm a 7 3/8. I'm pretty short. I'm about 5'7", and I wear a size 7 3/8. That's kind of a large size. I got a fat head, and finding some hats for smaller heads is actually a little bit easier. But know your size, and when you put it on, it shouldn't hurt, but it should be somewhat snug. It should. So they make the hat sizes in 1/8 sizes. But some of the half sizes, like this 3/8, they're kind of harder to find. So I will tend to get a 7 3/8, and sometimes I'll get a 7 1/2. And know that they're not exactly perfect all the time. Like sometimes a 7 3/8 is really, really tight, and sometimes a 7 1/4 can fit. You can stretch them a little bit, but if you find one and it fits your head and it feels comfortable, just go with it. And when you do wash them, they can shrink, so you got to be careful when you wash them. Okay, now let's keep looking at this tag. So the second or the third line, DLA 100 91 D0313, that is the contract number. So when Atlas Headwear was contracted out to make it, that was the contract that was assigned to it. That -91 refers to the date. So this contract was made in 1991. So that will date this hat around the early 90s. The fourth row is the NSN number. If you've watched this channel, NSN numbers are something that we see a lot. If you look up that NSN number on Google, it will tell you what the item is. And typically it'll match what the description is. Hat, camouflage, pattern, desert. Now they make NSN numbers for everything. It's a native stock number. I've seen even for like bomb sniffing dogs, there's an NSN number. And then it'll say, what it's made of. This is 50% nylon, 50% cotton. That's why I kind of like this material. It's pretty soft. And what you won't see on here, and what I really want you to look for, is there's no made in the USA. Now, some of the companies that make the contracts out for the military, they also make the hats commercially. Sure, that's basically the same thing, but I like to make sure that it's actually one that would have maybe gone to the military. So if you see a made in the USA, that is a sign that it's not military surplus. And especially if you see like a made in China, Cambodia, or Thailand or wherever, that is not going to be a military surplus hat. So this tag is important. Now, one thing to note on the desert hats compared to like kind of the more woodland ones or the digital camo or whatever is there's no loops on the desert ones. Now I kind of like that, just makes it a little bit more, I don't know, high speed, or just there's just less stuff on it. It's more compact. The reason is because in the desert there's not a lot of vegetation, so you'd be putting vegetation in these loops in the woodland one, but not in these desert ones. Now I just want to give you another look at another tag. Here we have one for the chocolate chip. This one's in 7 1/2. And just know that not all the tags look the same. Here we can, like, let's get good at this. Okay, no made in the USA. It has a contract number that dates us to the 90s. That kind of makes sense for the chocolate chip. And then it's made by Bernard Cap Company Incorporated. And that is a company that you'll see on a lot. So Atlas Headwear makes one, Bernard Cap Company. They, you know, a lot of these companies have been around for a while making the same hat. And then to show you the desert one, this is a older style one, but you'll see this has a DLA number of 1992 dated. This is M&B Headwear. This one's all cotton instead of any nylon. And this one is called Hat Sun Woodland Camouflage Pattern Type 3. And this is in size 7 3/8. Okay, here's another tag. Okay, I want to show you some of the newer ones that I have. Here is the digital camo. These are becoming a little bit more scarce. You can still get them pretty easily. I got this one for like $5 on eBay. And if you just want one now, you should get it. And I think one thing that you could do, and I'm sure like in 20 years, people are gonna be like, don't do that. But now there's so many and it's so abundant. Pick yourself up 2 or something and then writ dye one of them. I think that could look pretty cool. If you don't really like this digital camo, I think like if you writ dye it red or blue or dark brown or something, I think it could look pretty cool. And you'll notice that even though those other hats were from the 90s, this hat is from 2004. Okay, so I even have the tag with this one. And they're still using this leather, you know, keeper on the strap. And here's one from 2016 in, was it OCP or whatever it's called, or, you know, it's basically multicam. Still using this leather strap. Okay, but I want to show you this tag really quick. Sometimes they have the instructions in the tag on the same thing. This is also a Bernard Cap Company, even though it's 10-year difference. Here's one. Oh, another Bernard Cap Co. Incorporated, 2016. So we've got the same company making hats over a span of like 25 years, right? Just want to get this side. You got the loops on this and loops. 2 vent holes on each side for a total of 4. It's the same hat, different camo. They have not changed the design. Now here's 2 little funky ones. These are the Marine Corps ones. And the Marine and the Navy, right? This is Navy, this is Marine. They will be made a little bit differently. So the straps, instead of having the lanyard keeper, they have these plastic, the plastic keepers that are spring-loaded. Because the Marines and the Navy always want to be different. On the inside, it has this really, really soft material. I don't know what will happen to this when it gets sweaty, but I think this is a sweat guard. It's, I don't know if you can see the shine on it, but it's like, it's very comfortable. It's kind of like, it's almost like cashmere, but obviously it's probably not cashmere, but it's a really nice and smooth fleece. So it feels really nice on your head, especially on your forehead when sweating. I bet you this probably feels nice and it won't give you like a red mark on your head. Again, they want to be different. So, you know, this one, they don't have typical hat sizes on these. There's a small, there's a medium, there's a large, there's extra large. I don't know if there's an extra small, but the large is around my size, like 7.5 to 7 and maybe 1/4 or something like that. But you'll want to figure out what your size is if you want the marine ones. This camo pattern's like, this is my favorite camo pattern, this green. I mean, I love green, and just like this digital green is just awesome. These ones are pretty easy to find now, so I feel like you should pick them up because they can just kind of go away really quickly. The desert one of this one, I've looked, I'm not like super into it, so I haven't looked that carefully, but you know, because I like collecting things, I have been trying to get it, but usually it's just, I haven't been able to find them on eBay, but this one you can find. And know that there's two types of desert. There's like a current desert, and then there's the Marpat desert. So those are actually different. I think this is called AOR2, and there's an AOR1, which is the desert, and the Marpat desert and the AOR1 is not actually the same thing. So just keep that in mind and kind of look at the tags. So here's another tag. This is for the Marpat, again in large. This one's from 2001, so it's a little bit older. I didn't say which one this one's from. This is from 2020. So this is my newest hat. Okay. So the only thing to look for is this keeper. And again, no made in the USA, even though they are made in the USA. Okay, so now we go for the newest to the oldest. Now, this was a find. The Boonie Hat originated kind of around the Vietnam War, and there were two Boonie hats in the Vietnam. The first one I ever really wanted was a olive drab. There's an olive drab Boonie hat, and oh my God, they're super expensive, and you can get them now, but you have to have a super small head. Now my fiance has a very small head. I'm begging her, I'm like, come on, let's get you one because it'll actually fit you. She's not interested. But for me, I bought one time. It was a 7 1/4, and I could not make it fit. It was too tight. It would give me a headache, and I ended up returning it. I probably should have just kept it just for the collection. But since then, I haven't seen one. And when I do see, or I have seen some, but like maybe one or two in the last 5 or 10 years, I've been looking forever, and I kind of given up. But when you do see one, either it's really gross or it's been cut. A lot of the Navy SEALs would cut it, or I don't even know Navy SEALs. Green Beret would cut it. And if you did find a new one, it'll go for like $200. And that's just too much out of my price range. I like to wear these, and I'm not going to wear it if I paid $200 for it. Now, these ones have a coating on it, like a waterproofing on it. Probably those forever chemicals that you don't really want to deal with. But this one is obviously not in olive drab. This one's in leaf, and this is a Vietnam era one. Now, I found this one for steal. I remember the price. It was $37.50 on eBay, and they sent it to me in a cereal box for some reason, and it kind of smelled weird, but it has since worn off. The difference between these and the typical Boonie hats is the brim is a lot wider than these brims, and that might be part of the reason why some of them got cut down. But when they do cut it down, they would cut down quite a lot. There's a movie, I think, with John Wayne where he's like a Green Beret, and you'll see kind of typically what they look like when they're cut. But again, the style has not changed. We have the keeper. The keeper is like a slightly different shape, but they're still the keeper. And when you look for these, I mean, the tags are going to be a little bit older. And here's the tag. All right. No, made in the USA, size 7 3/8. And what we see, a DSA number instead of DLA number. But the contract says that this is from 1969. And look how nice this hat looks. It's not discolored. I don't wear it because it's just, I think it's too collectible. But let's see, how old is this hat? It's 55 years old now. And it's in like perfect condition. And I will keep it like this probably for a while and maybe pass it down. And then, you know, my kids will probably just throw it away because they're like, well, what's the point of this? But this is one of my prized possessions. And I've seen them go on eBay for like $200 sometimes. And I'm sure it'll just keep going up. You know, I wear it sometimes, but, you know, I don't want to sweat on it because it's just too beautiful. And also there's probably chemicals on it that I don't really want to be absorbed onto my skin. But yeah, that's my Boonie Hat collection. like I said, I wear them occasionally, but this is my favorite one, this desert one. And I saw one in the store recently. I'm probably just gonna pick it up because I would like a replacement, because this is just my favorite one. I wear this out in the field all the time. And I feel like this one is not as crazy camouflage, where you can wear this and people don't give you shit for it. But if you come out wearing, you know, digital camo or straight up woodland, people are like, well, what are you doing or whatever. And, you know, you got friends like that. So anyway, got any questions on tags, looking for boonie hats, you know, feel free to message me. If you like this video, give it a like. These are, you know, I like doing these videos, and, you know, if you have questions, you know, I'm happy to answer them. And I hope you can go to your local military store and just be that person that goes through all the hats. At my military surplus store here, there are like 200 hats or something, but there's some gems in there. If you kind of look through, they don't really know the difference between these and the commercial ones, and they just stack them all over the place. There's I would say about 5% of them are actually military surplus, and I think they're worth a bit more than the commercial ones. You might think differently, but at least for me, they're worth more to me because they're collectible. Anyway, again, thanks for watching, and take care.